Hello, and welcome to another Elevated Marketing Chat, where we discuss data-driven digital marketing strategies that help your business grow. My name is Jennifer Denny. I am the founder of Elevated Marketing Solutions. We are a digital marketing agency based in Indianapolis, but we handle clients all over the world. So feel free to go to our website at elevatedmarketing.solutions. All right. Say hello, comment, like, share. If you have questions, it doesn't matter what it is. We're here to help answer those questions and take another topic, which is actually very data driven conversion optimization. And talk about all the different elements of it. What is it? Like, what kind of tools do we use and how do we measure it? What kind of strategies, lots of information. So let's start with our quote of the day, or I should say the month. We do a quote of the day on TikTok and on Instagram Reels, but we also do quotes here, and that's because we are all about being positive and, you need daily motivation. So all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So, anything's possible. It really is. Don't let somebody tell you that something is not possible. The second part of that quote, though, is you might have to make some difficult decisions and you might have to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. That's the courage part in order to pursue them. And I say get comfortable with being uncomfortable because guess what? That is part of life. And so all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So let's get started with today's topic, conversion optimization. Definitely in marketing, we are breaking this down into a separate topic because there is so much that is wrapped up in it. And I think sometimes the expectation is that it just should come with certain items like building a website. And it may or may not, but let's first define it. So conversion optimization is basically efficiency. How do you get more out of the website traffic that you already have coming to your website? So conversion is the desired action of the website. So you should have one. Do you want them to fill out a form, start a chat, make a phone call? Do you have a longer sales cycle? So you want to get their email, like calls to action. Those are what you want people to do when they got to your website. Yes, ultimately you want them to buy, but unless you are a e-commerce, they are not buying directly on your website. You are just a stop along the funnel. So there are lots of things to test when it comes to making your traffic better. Lots and lots and lots and lots of things. Messaging, layouts, images, colors, it goes on and on. Sometimes people think when they get a website that, well, that should have already been thought through. That should have been part of that. Well, this is a different skill set sometimes. When you buy a website, it could be that you have someone that's just a designer, so they know how to make things look pretty. You could also have somebody that understands SEO, and that person could be different. It could be technical SEO, it could be content writing. And then you could have another person that understands user experience, which could be wrapped up in conversion optimization as well. Maybe, maybe not. We do what we do in marketing. We like to make lots of different topics lots of different, I should say, terms for meaning the same thing. But at the end of the day, you have traffic that is coming to your website that you are driving through a multitude of different ways. You need to optimize that traffic and make it efficient and get the most as you possibly can. So, um, sometimes people will ask, well, what's a good conversion rate? Well, it really depends on your industry. On the low end, it could be 2%. 98% of people are not completing what you want them to do when you get to the website. 5% is probably somewhat of a normal, so we're still dealing with 95%. And I think the expectation is we drove them to the website. Why are they not buying right then and there? And if you're really good, then you're going to get 11% of people to do that desired action. So that's why it's really important to have the rest of the funnel and all the different types of marketing, because you're not just going to instantly be able to drive traffic to the website and it's just going to convert. So, why should you care about this? Well, obviously, if you're in business, this is a return on your investment by optimizing the traffic that you have. You're able to make your marketing work better. No matter if you're driving traffic, part of marketing is driving that traffic, right? The other part is getting it to actually do what you want it to do, right? And then after the fact, maybe you have a phone call or a form fill, and then you have a whole nother, person on the other end or customer service that's answering it. So there's this entire funnel. And what you don't want to do is shove a bunch of money at it. Well, it will allow you to get that traffic in order to quickly see what's working and what's not working. And then you can scale your marketing from there. I mean, there's a lot wrapped up in just saying all of that just to get to that point that instant gratification that somebody came to my website and they're instantly going to convert is really not statistically, possible. It just doesn't happen very often at all. Maybe you're selling a dress or like some sort of retail item, like you're the one that has the bubble gum at the front of the desk, before you check out, and it's just that last minute kind of grab, and you don't really have to think about it. Like that's a little bit different than conversion optimization. So, what are some of the tools? Well, so just like anything else in digital marketing, there are a ton of tools out there that you can use to understand your website traffic. Some of these are free, and so I'm going to start with those first. So, got a little itch in my nose. First of all, Google Analytics. I preach this all the time. I think most people have the code on their website, but they're not looking at all the data that exists within Google Analytics that can tell you the where your traffic came from, what did they do once they got there, and did they complete the desired actions. That's the real simple part, but there's a lot of different breakdown metrics, about those that you have to get. I don't know how often here at Elevated Marketing Solutions we don't see that people even are accurately tracking the desired action of the website. So we're just throwing money at it, and we're not measuring all the different ways that we could. We're not making data-driven decisions. So I'm going to stop there before I go on a soapbox, because I totally will. Okay, so the next tool is Google Tag Manager. It's just like it sounds. It's just a manager of all these different tags. So all these platforms, including Google Analytics, is picking up information, and you need somewhere, to store that. And I'll talk about later, a little bit later with Google Events, why Google Tag Manager actually makes that even easier. So basically knowing where people are clicking on the website. All right, then there is Google Optimize. So Google Optimize allows you to basically put a piece of software on the website and allow you to send one some traffic, one version of your website, and another part of your traffic, a different version of your website. And you can test different elements to see what works better. Okay, so the next one is Google PageSpeed and Lighthouse. So these tools are telling you, how fast your website is loading. And that's super important, and it's a super complicated question. And there's a lot of reasons why. It could be tech stack, an individual page, it could be an individual element that's on the page. The bottom line is you got to get your website down to less than 2 seconds, and there's a lot wrapped into that to figure out what that is. And you're going to need a certain skill set that is going to understand how to improve that page speed. So Google Survey Reports and SurveyMonkey, both of these are actually asking your user where they get stuck at in the funnel. Google Survey Reports is actually a pop-up that will take place on the website. You might already have a pop-up on your website. And then SurveyMonkey, you are going to need their email address in order to email them and ask them that information as well. So in both of those instances, though, you're asking your user to tell you, hey, why is this not working? There's more creative ways to kind of do that. We have a pop-up on our website that, talks about, do you need digital marketing? Or do you need a new digital marketing agency? And then we break down like why you possibly might need a new digital marketing agency. So that's one way. Hotjar, Crazy Egg, Lucky Orange. These are fascinating tools. You might be a little freaked out about this, but with all of these tools, I can see not you as an individual, but I can see an individual user. So I don't know that Susie Joe was the person, but I can see like how they interact with the website. I can see where they click, where they scroll, what pages are they looking at an entire session. But these are all softwares that cost money, but you can get really valuable information. Then there's user testing, where you can actually pay for a set of traffic to come to your website and give you feedback about what they understand or don't understand. So this is super useful before you go out and maybe pay for traffic. Now, when you go out and pay for traffic, you're getting an idea of that traffic right there, and that can be highly targeted traffic versus user testing might not be as much because people in your particular industry might not be, willing to get into user testing and get paid for that. So personally, I'd rather do some ads and get qualified traffic to there and see what they think. So, just like we do here, data-driven digital marketing, let's talk about the metrics that we are going to be potentially looking at. And I just described some of them. So site speed is something that I just checked, and we need our website to load fast and quickly. And it's very involved. It can be a particular page, it could be a particular item, it could be the platform that you're on, it could be the particular theme or structure of the platform that you have. There's a lot of different reasons. It's very complicated. At the end, you need to make sure it loads quick and less than 2 seconds. So the next metric is bounce rate. Does somebody come into your website and not click on anything? They might scroll down, but they just immediately leave. So that's not good. Average is somewhere between 40 to 60%. It's just important that you understand what your bounce rate is and improve that. You need to look at how is that traffic coming in? Like, do you have the wrong traffic coming in, or are you leading on the wrong page when they do come in? You have to think through that funnel of where that particular traffic is and how you led them to that. In simple terms, it's like, in old school sales, it's like somebody asks you a question about A, but you start talking about Z. See where like the mismatch is? Like, you're already like, I'm ready for you to do Z when they just started with A. So lots in between there that can happen. Uh, the next metric is going to be time on a site. So how much time did they spend on your site? And that's really, again, going to depend on your industry and the type of website that you have. If we're talking like a plumber, they might spend a lot less time because, they've got a water leak out. That's those emergency type situations. Does that mean that you need a website without more information? Like all you need is the phone number? No. People are still making decisions about who to use and who not to use. And, you no. You need to look at how much time they're spending. And then you need to look at how many pages that they're looking at. So pages per session. And, I've said in a different talk about landing pages that every page of your website should function like a landing page. And we should be logically thinking about what is the next step that somebody is thinking about when they come in on this particular page, and how do I get them to the next step? Is that going to be another page, or are they potentially already at Z? And I can get them to that conversion. So and it can depend a lot on your sales cycle. So if you have a really long sales cycle, let's just go all the way back to the beginning. If your website is really, really good, 89% of people will not fill out the form or make the phone call. If you have a really long sales cycle, and then you're just really good at only getting 11% of people to do that desired action, you've got a bunch of other people that were potentially interested, and that's going to take some, moving them down the funnel by feeding them information with another topic that we talked about, the importance of remarketing. So just things to think about. So we've talked about time on site, pages per session, how many pages are they looking at, internal linking, are you linking one page to the other? We've talked about that, and there's, text internal linking, there's graphic internal linking. Another metric you're going to have to look at is user flow. So inside of Google Analytics, you can see what page people started with, what page they came to next. There's a particular section of Google Analytics that just goes through this. Breaking that down into a couple other metrics, you've got entrance page and you've got exit page. Most people come in on the home page, but sometimes they come in on a different page, right? Because you're doing SEO and they find a certain page valuable. Did you make that page so that they logically know where to go next? If they don't, and that wasn't easy, then you've got problems there, and all of a sudden that entrance page becomes your exit page, and maybe your exit page is your contact us page, which likely it is. How do you get them from there to there? Sometimes people are like, oh, if I just put the phone number right there at the top, or if I make it really call out big that, I want them to contact us. Well, they got to your website because they have a problem that they want to solve. And again, if you're trying to get them from A to Z, and they're talking about A and you're instantly going to Z, everybody loves to buy, but nobody likes to be sold. So, those metrics. So then there's events. So what are people clicking on their website? So maybe you want to know if they clicked on a certain button. Did they log in? Did they click on this URL? Remember Google Tag Manager that we talked about? Well, that's what you can use to set up all of these Google events. It makes it a lot easier. You can also completely hard code them, but Google Tag Manager makes it easy to kind of see where people are at, and it is free in a sense that your marketing agency could already be taking care of that. But the other tools, Crazy Egg and those that can tell you where they're clicking at, there's cost involved with those with software costs. And that actually leads me to my next one, the heat maps. Great, valuable information. Seeing how far down the page they scroll. If they only scroll 20%, but the chunk of what you want them to see is at the 50% mark, well, then you need to rearrange the page, and then everybody might be, oh, well, I just need to stuff everything at the very, above the fold and just put everything there. You can't take somebody from A to Z if they're asking about A. You got to take them through that. I realize, it's online, it's the internet, and we just want them to instantly, complete that desired action. But, if you're really good, 88, 89% of people will do that, but you've got that other chunk that you need to bring them down. So the last metric that I want to talk about is conversion rate. So that is that percentage of people who actually do that. We just said it. So you want to be looking at that metric, and you're, making certain things and you're changing certain things, and then you're moving them, to the next item and seeing if you are improving it. I have only scratched the surface here with conversion optimization. I have just given you why it's important. I have given you, some tools that you can use. I've given you some metrics to look at, and I have way oversimplified those 3 topics. We actually wrote a blog post on this over on our website. So if you head over to elevatedmarketing.solutions and go to chat, you can really see all kinds of things. So what should you optimize on the website, developing a plan for conversion optimization, just realizing that conversion optimization is part of digital marketing, and the people that you have doing one aspect, building a website, might not have the skill set to get to the next part. Or the people that are building your ads might not have the skill set to do the conversion optimization. Hey, I think they should, because it's not my job to just bring you qualified traffic. It's also our job to make sure that it converts. So that's going to involve some different skill sets to ensure that you can actually change a website and make things the way that they need to be, and lots more that can get involved with that. So that is it for today. We have certainly covered a lot. As we always do, we like to put out quality content. We are all over. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, email. Our latest thing is on Instagram Reels and TikTok. So if you need that kind of daily motivation, we're putting it out there on those 2 platforms. We're always posting our blog posts and information on Facebook and LinkedIn. YouTube, all of these videos exist there. So if you'd like to hang out there. And then lastly, if you don't have time and you just want to read this at a different time, get on our email list and you will get that emailed to you. So next time we are going to talk about a particular type of marketing called native advertising, and you might not be aware that it's actually all around you, and you may or may not have heard of that particular term. And so we're going to break it down with what is native advertising and why you should care about it. That will be April 14th at 1 o'clock on our normal second Tuesday of the month. Oh my gosh, I'm losing time. Funny story, I actually already prepared that slide deck because I thought that I was doing it this time, and no, I'm doing conversion optimization. All kinds of stuff. And you can book a strategy call with me at elevatedmarketing.solutions if you want to talk about your particular situation and how we can help you. So All right, take care and have an awesome day.